welcome to the E.A.T podcast. It's episode number 33. I'm your host, Jerry. Tonight, we got an impromptu interview with the CEO of GGII Hemp, Sandro Piancone. He's a very good friend of the program. He's been on the show once before in a setting like this. Also, we've had him at the Benzinga Cannabis Capital Conference as well. And we're going to bring him back on the stream. He announced a big deal yesterday, and he's got some other updates for us as well. We're going to touch base on what the company's been up to and where they're going. So let me bring Sandro onto the stream. Sandro, how are you, buddy?
I'm excellent, Jerry. How are you? Good evening. Good evening to all your listeners.
Good evening. So yeah, it's been a hot minute. Last time we got together at the Benzinga Cannabis Capital Conference in New York City in October. And since then, I got to thank you. Honestly, I think that having the access that I had with you and the interviews that we did over those 2 days and everything that I did for myself at the podcast, it opened up some doors for me with Benzinga. I don't know if you saw, but Benzinga had me on their Benzinga live show. We had their executive producer at Benzinga TV, Spencer Israel, came on the show. I've had some discussions about possibly doing some employment with them down the road with my journalism background. And I got to thank you for it, because I think that the interviews that we did and the stuff that we put out there about your company and the back and forth we had, I think was a big catalyst for it. So I want to thank you for that right off the bat.
Oh, well, that was awesome. It was awesome to meet you in person. That was a great show.
Oh, yeah.
And if I remember correctly, we dropped the big bomb on that day too,
yes.
Which was our JV with Rick Ross and our new brand together, Hemp Hop. So
yep.
This is like an occurring theme that now we dropped another big bomb with, I would say, the godfathers of cannabis. And
yep.
You're the first interview we're going to talk about it. We're going to have more next week, but at least today you're the first the first interview.
I love it. I love that you reached out. I did reach out to you for New Year's, and I said, happy holidays. Hope everything's going good. Would love to get you back on the show. We're going to do season 2 in January and February. And I didn't hear back for a while. And I was like, all right, maybe he didn't get my email. Maybe he's a little busy. Maybe they're in a quiet period. I was like, I don't know what's going on. And then you came, the email opened up yesterday with you in it. And I was like, oh, all right, bingo, he's back.
Yes. Yeah, so exciting news. We've been working on it for a few months now. If you remember, you asked me how we met Rick Ross, if you remember that story.
Yep.
And I told you how that happened. And almost the same, right? We were, introduced by a broker. So, it's not that we're friends with Cheech and Chong. We'd love to say we are, but we're not. It was introduced by a broker. He asked us if we'd be interested in looking at the possibility of doing a deal. We were. He set up a call with their CEO, Jonathan Black, and Paris Chong, who's Tommy Chong's son.
Mm-hmm.
We had a call. We explained what we were doing and where we saw the market going and why we believed the next big thing is hemp smokables. They liked everything they heard. And of course, like anything else, they said, send me samples. And the CEO said, send them to Paris. He's the expert. Which we did. We sent one of the VIP boxes like I've sent to you.
Yep.
They received it. He loved it. And then 2 days later called and said, let's do a deal. So the proof was in the pudding. They loved the product. And we've been working on special blends, special flavorings. As you know, Cheech and Chong, they're brands in the cannabis space. So they have them all over the U.S.
Yep.
By different states, right? But that's cannabis. The great thing about our product is once the product's made and ready to ship, we can ship it anywhere in the 50 states or anywhere around the world where hemp smokables are legal and hemp paper blunts. So we're excited about that.
I read the press release, and I mean, it seems like it's a perfect collaboration for you guys. And the next thing, I mean, partnering up with that duo, it's a 50-50 partnership, creating hemp blunt smoking papers, hemp CBD cigarettes, all under their Cheech and Chong brand. You're going to be also premiering the Cheech and Chong wrapped vending machines at the Las Vegas TPE show. I saw that as well in the press release.
Yeah, so that's exciting, right? So it's a hemp cigarette. You can make it as fancy as you want. You can change the CBD levels. You can add terpenes. So their group, Cheech and Chong, and their group are coming up with special formulations. Things that they would normally do in the cannabis space, but we're bringing it to the hemp space. and we'll be launching those brands, those flavors there. And then, of course, we have the CBD, the Cheech and Chong vending machine with commercials, posters, things of them in there. People excited. They'll want to take pictures of it. So exciting stuff. And we're happy to be launching it at the TPE show. It's the largest tobacco show in the United States, Tobacco Products Expo. But the evolution, I've been going now for 12 years. So, when I first used to go, it was just tobacco, cigarettes, and then changed a little bit to cigars. And then it changed to hookah. And then it went to vapes, and then vapes got out. And then last year, they could have called it the Delta 8 show, the D8 show. And then this year, it's a mix of all those things. So we're going to be introducing that. We have people from all over the world go on and show it. So
that's great. It's unbelievable. I mean, next year, hopefully, I could swing by Vegas for one of these conferences. I mean, when we were at the Benzinga one, I got invited to Vegas. There was the biggest one was the week after that conference that we went to in New York City. And if I could have planned it right, definitely would have been there for that one or this one next week. So now that I know that these things happen and when they're going to happen and where they're going to happen, I'm going to try and plan to get out there and get some interviews.
I'll give you a list. We just planned out our trade shows for the year. We have approximately 12 trade shows that we're going to be exhibiting at all over the U.S. So a lot in Vegas. So from Vegas to Florida to in between North Carolina, Atlanta, Texas. So we're going to be all over the U.S. and we have some international shows planned.
Oh, that's great. All right. So last time we spoke, the Rick Ross news dropped, and that had a great effect on the stock price and the mojo with everyone getting involved and all that. I saw some pictures of you and Jorge actually having dinner or cocktails or a meeting at I guess it's Rick's mansion or at a big table with a fireplace.
Yeah. So what happened was, we signed a deal in October at Benzinga. We were working on different flavors, different flavor profiles. We were doing a photo shoot. So we had the artwork. We had what we was going to look at like. So me and my team flew out there, me, Jorge, Lou, Carlo, we all flew out. We met with James Lindsay. We met with Rick Ross at his estate. His estate is in Atlanta. It's the old Evander Holyfield home. It's 42,000 square feet.
Sounds
we
impressive.
did different pictures. So outside, inside, in the back, all over. And then after the photo shoot and we made a commercial, then we went to his office where we are looking at different flavorings and he chose the flavors he wants, change this, change that, add a little bit more. So we'll be announcing the flavors that we came up with and the brands that we're going to be launching.
Yeah, one of the big questions on Twitter as I was prepping for the show was, when should we expect the hemp hop products to be available? Is that soon? Is that tomorrow? Is that something you're going to be announcing next week?
At the TPE show, we're going to be showing the product. We're going to be taking orders for wholesale. Retail will probably be about another 30 days. The plan was we were going to launch at a Super Bowl party here in Los Angeles. There was a Super Bowl party. We were working to get Rick Ross to play there. It was going to be a big deal. And then because of California and their COVID restrictions, the party got canceled. So
hey, let me ask you about COVID. So, I mean, obviously you guys have your facility, 50,000 square feet. You've told us before on the show, you guys have a crew working there. Has COVID affected manufacturing? I mean, obviously COVID affected the conference scene, where when we went to Benzinga, it was the first one in a while where it was back in person. But now that we're kind of quote unquote out of it or coming out of it, did COVID really hurt you guys, or was that something that you guys managed to get through okay?
Well, we got through it because we're entrepreneurs. We don't take no for an answer. And so we're essential in California. If you supply dispensaries, you are what's called essential. So you got to work. We had some bouts of it where someone would get sick. The good thing is everyone didn't get sick at the same time. So maybe some people got sick, they stayed home there 10 days, and then the next set got sick. But knock on wood, we've been open since March of 2020. We haven't stopped working every day. We're up at 5 a.m. when we go to work. And so it has not stopped us. A little bit of delays in the supply chain, but nothing to, nothing to write, we get through it.
Okay. Some other questions from Twitter that were out there as I was prepping for this. Someone's asking if you guys are still producing for Hemp Town.
So yes, Hemptown, we did their research and development. We did their first run, so we started making product for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they are looking for other products, maybe something we can't handle. They might make somewhere else, but if now we're their supplier of choice.
Okay. A couple of months ago, you guys announced a deal with Tanger Outlets, placing some of your vending machines there. Initially, it seemed like it was a pilot program where only a few locations and a few machines were going to be available. Has that expanded? Has that worked out well? What can you tell us about that?
So it has not expanded. It's still. It wasn't that long ago we put out the press release. So it's still in its test pilot program there. And Tangiers has about 32 malls, outlet centers. So there's 2 kiosks out there now. We like to put them out. We like to see 90 days where it goes, and then from there, either move the kiosks around or start adding more malls to it. So we're going to have a lot of news coming out in the next 90 days about kiosks and where we're placing them. And so we would love to come back on the show and explain that.
Okay.
Those were the first, but the first of many.
Okay. You guys recently announced a joint venture with collaboration with Josh Kesselman and HBI International. It's a deal that has you guys developing and manufacturing hemp wrap smokable rolling paper in a variety of flavors, such as cherry, mango, grape, and lemon. The initial rollout of skunk brand products sold out in basically 3 hours. I mean, that was great. How is that going since then?
So better than expected, over the moon. If people know who Raw is, I'm sure most of your listeners do, and if they don't, they should go get educated. They're the largest rolling paper company in the world. So they sell in Europe, they sell in Canada, in the U.S. The Raw brand is the premier brand for smokable papers. They're sold everywhere. So in dispensaries to 7-Eleven, you can find Raw papers everywhere. This is one of their brands that we do product for. So when we made the announcement, that was probably our second or third truckload. And we got more to come, more press releases to come about HBI. We have a great relationship with them.
Okay. You guys also signed a deal with Stick It a month or two ago, setting up a joint factory with operations expected to begin in January of 2022. Is that factory up and running? Is it still being built?
So that's one of the things, supply chain, that's backed up a little bit because of COVID for the equipment. So the technology, and you saw it there was a picture of it. Technology is, the patent is out of Israel. So Israel is their technology there. They actually make product now in Spain. It's sold all over Europe. And we're building the factory here in the United States in partnership with them to roll out Stick It both in the United States and Mexico. It's an exciting product that we're happy to be partners with Eli and his group.
Okay. And so obviously Rick Ross, Cheech and Chong, those are some big names in Hollywood, big time celebrities. I know right away everyone sees the press release drop with Rick and they're like, hey, what's next? Now everyone sees the press release drop with Cheech and Chong and it's like, all right, great. Hey, what's next? Everyone's in a rush. Are there any other discussions with celebrities that are, I know you can't tell us exactly who, or maybe you can, but are there any other discussions with celebrities in the pipeline?
Yeah, so we look at it differently, right? It's not just a celebrity, right? That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a true partner, a partner who wants to build a business. We've gotten offers all the time for different celebrities, different rock stars, so we could pay them we could pay them an upfront fee. That's not what we're interested in. We're interested in a partner that designs the brand, builds the brands, a partner with us. They understand long-term wealth and equity in the company. So all these people are our partners. Okay. Mm-hmm. So anyone listening should understand when they're a shareholder is that all these partners are in with us for the long term. So what does that mean? It takes time to build a brand. I've said this with you on the show from the first day I met you.
Yep.
Everyone wants to know something quick and something. Well, no, it takes time to build a great company and a great brand. And the shareholders that are in need to be patient and be with us to do it. And if they don't want to be, then there's other companies they could invest in. But with ours, it takes time. Our partners are true partners. that they're in there. So are there other celebrities? We're talking to different groups, but they have to be a true partner in the sense of it's their brand. We're partners, we're manufacturing it, we're distributing it, but they own equity in the company. So that's different than us just going out and signing celebrities and paying for them to put a tweet out or put on TikTok or something like that. That's not what we're doing.
Yeah, and there's plenty of companies like that are doing that, and then you see the TikTok or the tweet come out from the big time celebrity with the product or company they're partnered up with, and then all of a sudden 3 months later it goes away, like the deal fell through or the deal's over.
Well, or they paid them 50 grand or 100 grand and nothing happened, and then they stop paying them.
Yeah,
that's not what we build a company for long term.
Okay. Obviously, another big question is share structure. Last time you came on in this setting where we had the 1-to-1, the share structure was discussed, and your words, I'm going to paraphrase, was the share structure is what it is because it allows us to do the deals that you're seeing us do. It's basically in my own words. And obviously, everyone's still concerned about the share structure. But are there any plans for any buybacks, cancellations, or even any issuances of more shares?
So there are no plans. And as I told you on the show last time, my exact words were they need to focus on the float and the number of shares they own. Okay. The market trades, they can buy and trade their shares. The majority of the shares are the group that we merged in Hempaco to. So we're locked up. And the people that own their shares, they can buy and sell. It's the float they need to be worried about. We deal with it on a different level when we're talking to investment bankers and large-term investors, is the market cap with the amount of shares. But the investor that's coming in and coming out every day, they need to focus on shares they own and the float. They don't need to worry about the outstanding shares. A lot of people talk about it. They want it to be, what's the right word? They want a reduction. There's two ways to reduce it. You could do a reverse split, but that doesn't change anything. They still own the same percentage, or they want us to magically give back shares, I think is what they want. But if they could give back the same amount of shares we do, but that's what's called a reverse split. So same thing.
And also, when you guys did the deals you guys have done, there's been some restricted shares that have been issued. Are those coming up soon? Are those shares going to be unrestricted, or what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so it's the same. It's a year after the S1 is approved. So the S1 is being done and the audit's being finished. So when that's done, it's a year from that date. So if they're looking for more shares coming out in the float, they could worry about a year after the S1 is done.
Okay, and
obviously that says that myself and my management team and our investors are in it for the long haul.
And also, last time you were on, we discussed an audit and getting everything in order for a potential OTCQB uplist. Where are we with that?
Yep. So working on it. That's one of our goals for the first quarter of 2022. Audit being done and S1 being filed.
Okay.
And then once it's filed, then it's out of our control. Then we're waiting for the SEC to approve it.
Okay. Someone is asking about a few months back, you guys had a joint venture with Canadian LP. I'm not sure what that is. If you know what that is there an update on that?
So we've done what we're doing. We just can't announce it yet. So at some point when they allow us to, we would put out a press release.
Okay. And also someone's asking about the Suzo Hap deal. Is that still going on, or did that end?
Yep. So they're based in Las Vegas. They are a distributor of ours. They're working on different deals for us to put machines in casinos and other locations. So that contract is in force and we're working. It's just they battle the same things we do with COVID and other areas. So some areas are closed down more than others, but they will be making announcements as we put them into locations.
Okay. Also, just people want to know when more news is coming. So obviously, the big Cheech and Chong news just came. TPE is next week. What is and obviously at Benzinga, you guys made a big announcement. Will you be making another big announcement in the next couple of days? And if you are, can you tell us what it is?
Well, yeah. So the one I can tell you is very simple because it was already pre-announced in the Cheech and Chong. We have a press release going out that we're exhibiting at the TPE show. We're talking about what the TPE show is about. We're talking about invitations to master distributors and distributors. So people that want to come visit the show, we will take care of their badges and get them into the show. We're going to talk about all that in the press release, is what we're putting out there. And then January will be a big month for news, and people just have to wait until it comes out, because obviously I can't tell that now. It would be insider trading. So
Yeah.
the news I can put out is that we're going to be at the trade show, but that's more of it's a press release / invite to the people that matter, right? The master distributors, the distributors, the buyers from convenience stores. That's what's important.
Okay. Also, I got to ask you. So, Rick Ross and Cheech and Chong, when are you going to get them on the show with me? Because I would love to discuss. I would love to discuss their side of the deal with you, as long as how they can, whatever they can discuss. But I'd love to hear their side of things.
If you were at the trade show next week, there should be some surprises there. So
I gotta go tell my boss that I gotta get on a plane and go to Vegas. I don't know if she's gonna allow that, but
yeah. So we'll see. Everyone's busy. Everyone's doing their thing. Everyone has their different schedules, and we'll do it. We're focused on building their brand, manufacturing the best product, and distributing it worldwide. And that's what. Here's the great thing about the Cheech and Chong deal that we did. What's interesting is no matter what age group you talk to, right? You could talk to an 80-year-old person and they know who Cheech and Chong are. They can even quote, different things from the movies to people our age, know who they are. And then you can talk to 18, 20, 21-year-olds and they know who they are. So that's kind of exciting. And they are the godfathers of this industry, right? When you talk about cannabis.
They have a huge social media following. I mean, I think I saw 12 million people is who they reach out to across their platforms.
And some of their videos, when they put out, are getting 100 million views. So that will be kicking off next week. But that's from their side is what they do.
Not to get into the deep inner workings of your deals, but when you make a deal with, say, Rick Ross or Cheech and Chong, is there a time limit on these deals? Is this a joint venture for, say, X years, 1, 2, or is this going to be going on until you?
It's public notice. We put them out there. It's a corporation that's set up. They're shareholders, and so as long as the business is generating and it's working, it could stay in business 100 years, or it could be. We could sell it to someone. They could buy it. We could buy their half. But they're partners with us, so it doesn't run out. There isn't a clock. It runs out.
Okay, I get some comments about that. That reassures some of the shareholders and the investors, thinking, hey, we've seen other companies in OTC or other companies in general make a deal with somebody, and the plan might be to sell out or sell the company down the line, but there's a clock running on that deal as well, and
there's no clock. There are partners, and so we're both in it to build a long, enduring, the best brands in the industry in the world, and now. What this does is the first deal with Rick Ross. The second deal is that all of these people now, other celebrities, other large companies, see what we're doing, and then it just brings more deals to the table.
There's a question in the live chat asking, I'll paraphrase their question, but do the deals that you guys have with Rick Ross and or Cheech and Chong, do you have it in their deals that they have to promote the company, whether it's on tweets or TikTok or Instagram or any of their social media? Are they required? I mean, obviously they're a 50-50 owner, so it's in their best interest to talk about the company because, hey, they own half of it. But are there stipulations where they have to do some stuff on certain dates and times?
Yeah, so I'm reading the question. That's not technically what it says. It's asking.
I made it nice. I mean,
here's what it says. It asks is, are they required to push the stock GGII, right? So here's what they're incentivized to build the company and build the brand. Okay, so again, they're in it for the long term, and their job is to sell product, right? That's our job, is to sell product. So when the brands are out and released, every day they'll be promoting it. They'll be driving traffic to the websites to sell product. Our partnership is to sell products, not to sell stock. The stock will take care of itself as we execute the program. But I understand day traders, that's what they want to hear, but we're in it for the long term.
Okay. I tried to word it nicely where we didn't go that route, but I mean, all right, yeah. People.
Well, there's not a contract there's not a contract they need to tweet about it. There's a contract to build a company together, and we both do what it takes to build a company.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to tell us about before we wrap it up? I mean, obviously, we're doing 25 minutes. We could go for an hour and 25 minutes if the chat fires up. But I got to all my questions, and you know.
Yeah, no, we're
good.
excited about the TPE show. If any of your listeners, either they be shareholders, potential shareholders, potential JV partners, supermarkets, convenience stores, distributors are in the Las Vegas area or want to come to the Las Vegas area, what they want to do is come in, right? What we want to do is have them come to the show. They can DM me, go to my Twitter, and we'll arrange a badge for them to come see us.
Okay. And just to keep you up with what the chat says, that person who asked that question before says, thanks for the answer. I'm an invested bag holder, not a day trader, and it's 25 below in Minnesota. Well, it's like 14 in New York right now. And I know you're in sunny San Diego.
72 degrees, but then he should come to Las Vegas next week. It's probably going to be 80 degrees.
Probably. I'm here in New York shoveling out 3 inches of snow, and we got another storm coming.
Awesome. Well, again, Jerry, thank you so much for inviting us on. Thank you for your listeners to give us their time. We know it's important. Hopefully, we gave them insight on the company, on the press release we did. We answered all their questions in the proper way that we look at it from our side. We're investors also. Okay,
yes,
so we look at it from that, but we're long-term investors, and that's how we look at it. And you know, people chuckle when I say this, but you only lose money on your stock when you sell it. As long as you believe it and stay with the company, that's where we do it. So we're not day traders. We're long-term investors ourselves, our time, our energy, our capital. And that's what we do. We're here to build a great company with great brands.
All right, Sandro, thanks for coming on. This was great. Guys, to follow Sandro on Twitter, it's at Sandro Piancone1. For the company, it's at Hempaco. Obviously, we all know the stock symbol is GGII on the OTC pink sheets. For anything else revolving around them, you can go to their website or follow Sandro, follow Jorge, or the company on Twitter, like I just mentioned, at Jorge Olson if you want to follow Jorge. Sandro, thanks for coming on. And the next time you guys have some news, definitely let's do this again. This was great.
You got it. Thank you.
Have a great night.